Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And welcome, brothers and sisters, to episode number 9 of the Convo podcast. We've called this one Straight Out of High School, and we have a guest speaker with us today who we'll be introducing shortly, and an interesting podcast, inshallah. So thank you very much for listening. Tonight's podcast is actually dedicated to a wider audience, but it does specifically target those who are leaving high school. So I'd probably broaden it a little bit and say those who have left high school this year, and to sort of give and take a little bit, those who left in the last couple of years, in their first couple of years at university, and also some of our year 10 and 11 students who will be leaving high school soon. We have some videos that we would like to play. We have our guest speaker who we'd like to discuss and get his opinions on. So inshallah, I'll pass it over to my co-host Hamza to introduce tonight's guest speaker.
Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum, viewers, listeners, and everyone else, which is really much else, is viewers and listeners.
That's right? All there is.
That's all there is. First of all, Jazakallah khair for tuning in. And yeah, I'd like to get straight into it and introduce our esteemed guest speaker. We've got Brother Muhammad Yassin with us today. He's a graduate of Al Faisal College of a few years now, and is currently studying law and economics at Sydney University, right?
That's right.
Yep. And also ex-president of SUMSA, the renowned Muslim Students Association, and also
we'll have a go at SUMSA a little later on in the show.
Don't worry, we're holding back right now. We'll launch into it later.
The introductions.
Oh, look at that! Wait, sorry, can I just show that? Just want to show how
it's very clear about his identity with SUMSA.
There you go.
Leave it that way.
No, leave it up so everyone can see it. All right, and also you've co-founded a tutoring centre as well, isn't it?
That's right.
So awesome. Jazakallah khair. So that's our guest speaker, Muhammad Yassin. I guess maybe we wouldn't necessarily call you like guest speaker. It's not like you're doing a talk here or a lecture. We're going to have a discussion, inshallah, as per the name of our podcast, the Convo. We want it to be a three-way discussion, inshallah. And I think there's a lot that we can unearth from this discussion that we're going to have, inshallah.
Inshallah. Okay, so did you want to maybe start us off just for... I know there's a lot of people, because we did advertise Muhammad as a guest speaker, and obviously, you know, some of your mates or some of the people that know you in various contexts, work-wise or university-wise, would probably tune in because they're familiar with you. But for anyone who's not, can you maybe tell us a little bit about yourself, apart from what's already been mentioned? Just so we can get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah, so I don't know what else I'd say apart from what's mentioned. But yeah, so my name is Muhammad Yassin. I'm currently studying law and economics at Sydney Uni. So I've finished 3 years of that degree. I spent most of this, like in terms of like community involvement, most of this year was SUMSA, so the Muslim Students Association at university, which was really, really good. So my term is ending now.
Oh, okay.
Sadly enough, but so my term's ending, but alhamdulillah, we've started a tutoring centre, Perfectus Tutoring, me and a co-founder, so that's where a lot of my time goes now.
Alhamdulillah.
And yeah, that's about it, I suppose.
Okay.
All right, cool. Look, the reason that we went with this particular topic now, straight out of high school, is considering that, you know, you help run a tutoring centre, you would know that HSC time not too long ago ended. So all these high school students were in the groove of HSC, studying for their final exams, the culmination of their schooling journey, all that drama, right? And so we thought, well, post-HSC is a very interesting time of one's life. It's very particular because you've had 13 years of a specific environment, and now, bang, it all changes. Like, almost overnight. Like, that last HSC exam finishes, and that's it. The world's your oyster. You're done, you're finished, and everything opens up. Or you've got 1,000 different things you could do, or maybe you choose to do nothing at all, right? So there's all these options that come out of it. And I guess we wanted to explore that kind of thing, and there were a few areas that we wanted to look at. One was study itself, like university study, the nature of it. Another was the workplace and how we transition into that kind of change in our lives. And then behind that all, or rather should we possibly say in front of that all, is our Islamic activism. And sort of molding these three things into one sort of cohesive lifestyle, so to speak, if you could say, and sort of the struggles and the juggling of all of that. That's what we wanted wanted tonight to really focus on. We thought, you'd be a good person to give us some insights to that as well.
Yeah. So let's over to you, inshallah. I wanted to ask you firstly, I noticed that on your Facebook you made a post recently about, it was to do with what we learn as students in school, specifically in subject English, and how useful some of that stuff is. So I thought it would be really good to go off some of that stuff. So you were talking about this thing that is taught in English from our teachers. We learn about the technique effect model of analyzing things, right? And you were talking about how, not to use your words, but to be honest, I entirely agree with you, the sort of how utterly useless that can be when you enter the real world. Can you tell us a little bit about where you're going with that? What's your thought process behind that?
Yeah, so first, just apologies to everyone that just finished and they're having to re-go the trauma of practicing English. But I think, so what I did, I remember throughout my whole high school, I really, really dreaded English. It was subject I really hated. And then I always enjoyed maths, and English was just the thing I just sort of got by in.
Yep.
And then come year 11 and 12, I remember we studied some key texts that I decided to sort of go beyond what we learnt in class. So the texts we learnt were Heart of Darkness in year 11.
Oh, yes.
And Brave New World in year 12. So
Yep.
and when I sort of dug beyond, I realized a lot of the literature online was really, really fascinating. So Brave New World, the way we learnt it in school, it was about this really weird world of this is a weird world that I probably shouldn't divulge in the details
Dystopian futures and all that kind of thing.
But I remember when reading more about it, it sort of opened up so much more about reading the world today, reading capitalism, reading how we're sort of a pleasure-driven society.
Yeah.
All of which, when you're sort of in school, your aim is to just get an idea sentence that will work, and getting quotes out of the novel that you can have a technique for.
Yep.
So you sort of lose all this really, really rich analysis about the world and where things are going and all that, and which is what English should be about, at least in my view, right? So it can be so powerful, but it's a tragedy how it's sort of whittled down into something so
for sure.
processed.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you go back to that model in high school, we touch on it a little bit when we start talking about the context of the author and the motivation of the author to read, write, and all that sort of stuff. And then, unfortunately, it gets lost in all of that technique effect sort of things. But what else? I don't want to narrow you down into English. How do you feel about the utility of some of the other subjects that we learn in school? How do you feel about the extent to which schooling prepares us for what's to come next, university or college or TAFE or whatever else it may be?
I mean, it depends on your attitude to it. I think a lot of stuff in school can be really helpful. If you do maths properly, or if you do English properly, it needs a bit of effort on your own behalf. I think the way the curriculum is structured, it might not be the best in terms of preparing you to be a really good citizen society, a moral person. In saying that, though, I think it does a really good job at it sort of sets how your life's gonna, it really sort of normalizes how capitalism will sort of treat you. So you start getting ranked very, very early on. The ATAR becomes a thing where
it's like currency.
Yeah, exactly. So it's if you get a high, and I'm not saying good or bad, but it's just sort of how society
how it
run,
happens,
right? So if you put a lot of effort in, not necessarily depending on what you're good at or whatnot, but if you just put a lot in, and you're competitive with your peers or whatever the case may be, you will have more opportunities. Even certain aspects of school where if you have more sort of wealth, you come from a better background, you can go tutoring or you can go to better schools and the rest of it. So I think in that sense, it starts normalizing certain things. Because of the content and the syllabus, I think some things can really help. I think if you do English properly, it can be really good. Maths can help you think things through properly.
So
yeah.
Can I ask? So you're doing law and economics. Yeah. What was your thought process? Why did you decide to go down that line? And sorry, let me preface the question as well. Because often, and you've probably come across this yourself, young people, especially post HSE, don't really know what they want to do. And to be completely frank, personally, I think it's probably too much to ask a young 17-year-old to decide the course of their future in this particular year, and that is what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life. I think it's a big ask, but I feel like there's also a lot of confusion. So what made you settle on law and economics? Was there a thought process? Was it something that just happened, or how'd it go?
Yeah, I actually didn't start with law economics. So my first year at uni, I was doing science. So
I was going to ask, let us guess, but you,
oh, really?
you told us. All good.
It's
Science and
See him as a kind of a... I've always seen him as a kind of an agriculturist. I think I mispronounced the word, but... No, what is it? Science and...
Wait, let me guess. Hold on. I got nothing. Go.
So it was science and dentistry. So it was
dentistry.
Like
should have known your sister's in dentistry.
No, she's doing medicine.
She
you
works
got that
at
one wrong too.
Come on, she works at a dentist in Guildford. Yes?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, I got part of it right.
Close connection, but no cigar.
Yeah. So I was doing that, and I did it for a semester, and like sort of my reasons for doing it weren't really solid, and like I was sort of really confused going into it. Anyway, like that semester, it was just like I was like dreading going to uni, even sort of like thinking about what I'm going to end up doing like day to day. I was like, oh, and then I ended up taking a gap semester. So I did a semester. I was like, I really know what I want to do.
Yep.
I took a gap semester, which I don't know if I were to go back, I would take a gap semester because I think there's like things to be said about that. But anyway, I took a gap semester, and then in that time, I was like, okay, I sort of worked a little bit. I had the intention to do law and like a law degree.
Yep.
When I decided to take it because I knew I liked. By that time, I had really started to enjoy reading, writing, coming up with like structured sort of ways of responding to things.
Yep.
So I knew I liked all of that. And then also like the world of business and all that really appealed to me. So law and economics is like a really like generalist degree that opens up your path to a lot of these.
Can I ask you? You mentioned taking a gap year.
Yeah.
And
semester. Close enough.
Very few people do. I think most people sort of just transition straight up into it. Very few people take a gap semester or a gap year. To my knowledge, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
The majority of people sort of smoothly transition.
Flirt with the idea.
Yeah.
Like they think that's really attractive. Go find themselves and all this kind of business.
Yeah.
Not to suggest that your one was along those lines.
His tone like low key mocked the whole idea. Oh, find yourself, buddy.
Well, he also in a more diplomatic way said maybe there's more to be said on it.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask about. So
let's say the more.
This is what I want to know. Like, you took a gap semester.
Yeah.
What did you do in that gap semester? And what are the things that you... Okay, let's say you had the whole year to yourself between the end of high school and the start of uni. And that's only because it's bang in the middle of what we're talking about, straight out of high school. And you want to sort of... with some of the stuff we want to talk about tonight is shaping your post-school identity, right? Because you didn't get the chance to do that. In school, it was just like... I don't know, stop rocking on your chair and tuck your shirt in and do this and come at this time, go at that time, this much attendance, this is what you do, technique effect, right? I've really boiled it down to just that. But there's a lot of regulation at school. There's a lot more autonomy all of a sudden, a lot more independence, find yourself, direction, all that sort of stuff. So if you had the whole year to yourself, what would you have done and why?
So I don't know if I... fully.
So that's the mic. Can you just lift that a bit? Sorry.
Yeah. I just wanted to lean on the table.
Yeah, go for it.
Is it all good?
Yeah, all good.
Okay. I don't know if I like fully agree because I think if you're at university, you have like all the leg space that you need.
Yeah, you do.
And I think if you take a gap year, so first thing a lot of people take gap years, like I think 50% of people that take gap years is because they want to get into like medicine, and they're like, oh, if I take gap year, I'm going to do the UMATIC or the UCAT. Sorry.
Okay. Yes.
Which I don't recommend either. But let's say you take it because you want to find yourself. I feel like
he said that a lot more nicely than I
did.
If you want to find yourself, I think like if you're at uni, most courses will allow you like the time and the flexibility to do things that you want to do. I'd only say you should take a gap year or gap semester if you're actually like doing very specific things. Like if you're making sure that because a lot of people take gap years and like, you know what?
It's very vague.
Yeah, it's like I want to like if you're like some people that are more like when I was in year 11, 12, like I was flirting with the idea and it was like I want to exit the system, right? Like if you're like more like edgy, like in like reading random political stuff.
Just for our audience, I don't approve of the kind of terminology that my co-host and he's using. Attraction, flirting with, finding yourself. I don't know where they're going with this. I wasn't a part of they didn't share this with me in the preparation phase. No, sorry. Look, okay, let me go back to that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
let's say whatever your position is on gap year, take it, don't take it. Let's just say don't take it, guys.
Okay.
But what I was trying to get at was hypothetically, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's say you've got a year to yourself and you're not tied down to the system, the regime of, you know, straight out of high school, straight into uni. Like, you've actually got a year and life says to you, all right, so society's not going to dictate to you what you have to do. What do you want to do? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to say, if you didn't do what the regime asks you to do, then not Aldous Huxley's regime, but just the regime, society. But like, what would you then do?
Enter this brave new world.
Yeah. Technique effect.
What would you then do? Like, what's your purpose and like, what's the new direction? What's this? What would you encourage people to do? What would you find useful? That kind of thing.
I think it like depends, because you carry over what you were sort of interested in high school, right?
Yep.
Like, I think if someone were to take a gap year, I think like, even if you're just like, I think starting a business is something that's very, very accessible for like young people, and you can sort of really dive into it. You don't, unless like you have to provide for your family, which a lot of people don't. There's a very low risk if you can find businesses that are low capital, like doing something like that.
Yeah, could get you some good life experience.
Finding like there's like so many diverse experience that you can get yourself into. You know, learning the Dean more. I would say all the things that you can still do at uni, you can do.
Right, I see where you're going.
Sorry, let me interject here. Firstly, I just want to ask. So, did you realize that you were going to do law and economics?
Yeah.
During your first semester whilst you're at uni, or after when you took a gap?
So it was like a big like existential crisis first semester of uni, and so like by the end of it, I was
Don't
like,
worry, my whole first year was that crisis.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think a lot of people watching, like, if you're not sure in your first year, like that's very
totally
very normal.
Yeah,
very normal, of course.
Yeah, I think So
first 5 years,
really sarcastic.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's so I wasn't sure until like the end of my first semester, and then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do it. And then the reason why I took a gap semester was like partly I was like, oh, you know, I want like things to do in my, I want to like explore, find myself, not really find myself, but like I wanted to like, I was like, oh, I'll have the flexibility to do stuff I want to do.
Yep.
And then partly also because I was like, I really don't like my degree. If I stay in uni for another semester, my WAM is going to be affected and I won't be able to get into my degree, my law degree. So that's why I was like, oh, you know,
that makes sense, yeah.
I just like slipped away and was like, you know, I'm not going to do this semester. But if I were to go back, I wouldn't.
But I got to say, on what you were saying, you know how you're like, correct me if I'm wrong here, but you seem to have been painting the gap year as a sort of a quite possibly productive thing, and it can be, but I don't know, I feel like specifically post-school, I don't know, are young people at that age, generally speaking, obviously you'll have your exceptions, are they sort of motivated, driven enough to make a productive year when they now, for the first time in like ever, they've got no responsibilities, they've got nothing holding them down, no rigors, no routine, no brave new world, nothing, right? It's open. Now, they'd have to be quite self-motivated, and again, I hasten to add, you can find some who would be. But I feel like going to uni and chucking yourself into a routine in the system will get you to realize quicker, perhaps, that I like this or I don't like this.
Look, I'm not necessarily for gap years. Like, I feel like I've really been boxed into this, and I want to.
Why are you promoting it, bro?
I'm not promoting it. I'm just saying. But I find myself disagreeing.
Don't find yourself ever.
I find myself. Let me finish the sentence. I find myself disagreeing. Not find myself full stop with just disagreeing with this idea, because you said earlier, 17-year-olds, too much pressure for them to decide what to do for the rest of their lives. And then again, you know, kids are leaving high school and they're in first year university, and you know, do they really know? And I feel like it's setting the bar a little bit low. Like, I feel like the whole point is we're sort of pushing and saying there should be that maturity.
Yeah, there should be, but is that
I think structure really helps that though.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, I think if you don't have, if you have a lot of things to do in your day, you're like, how do I word this? Like, if you have more things to do on your mind, you'll be more productive.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah, like, that's all of our experience. Yeah.
Yeah, like same thing is like if you have like uni that's still like sort of making you get up at a certain time, go to university, and then you have like from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. where you can do everything you want to do. That's a lot better than having like from the morning till evening, like the world's your oyster.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me put it like this.
You're really wanting to defend yourself here.
Okay. Screw the gap year, right?
Finally. Thank you.
No,
That's all I wanted.
I think you're trying to get at like if you.
What I'm trying to get at is you got some time at university
Yeah.
apart from what you have to do at uni, college,
yeah.
TAFE, whatever. Now what do you do apart from study?
Yeah. I would just say do like a lot. Like just do a lot. That's
Prime time of your life, eh?
Yeah, like as in I think there's so much time and like there's so many experiences to be had. Like starting the business we just started this term, but like there's so many like just having that responsibility, like you're dealing with like parents, you're dealing with kids, and like you're dealing with different stakeholders. Like having that responsibility is like a really, really like fun thing for me, right? But I wouldn't have known if I had went through uni and then started to work straight away. So uni is just like a time where you can do a lot. If you want like to learn Arabic, if you want to like to seek ilm a bit more, if you want to like, there's actually so much you can do.
Even if you want to like pick up a new skill of some sort.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Photo editing or like video editing
Technically upskill yourself.
or like knitting or something, like something interesting.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't think of anything else.
Really
Knitting was like
process
that's a
there,
really
buddy.
specific like. It
Is there
sounds
something
like
coming? It's something deep seated that
We
you'd
were
like
talking
to,
about
like
it
to expose.
at work.
Wait, I
okay?
got it. He found himself through knitting.
That's what I did in my gap year.
Hence why you shouldn't take one.
No, like, okay, I'm really struggling to think of something else really, really interesting. But
no, like my sister started. I don't think it was like through a gap, but like she started like a photography thing and like that's something she does in her free time.
Awesome.
And like it's just like there's so many things you can do. But like I think the thing you shouldn't do, which so many people do, like at uni, is like they'll do uni and like they'll just be on like PS4 or like that's for the guys at least. Like
so, like downtime after your,
like well, it's like uni's after your downtime, right? It's like downtime's the main thing. You're playing PS4. Like that's what it is, right?
It's like a bit of uni and then a downtime. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what I was alluding to earlier. Like with a gap year, it's like that on steroids, right?
Yeah,
possibly.
exactly.
Like,
Possibly, yeah.
And that's a real risk. Like you could waste a year. What's the
But
point?
you do see like very switched on people. Like they'll take gap years and they'll do like the hifz and like stuff like that. So if you but then like there's a program there, right? So
It's got to be focused. It's got to be really focused.
So structure's the key.
I think so.
Try and keep structure there at all times, whatever you do. Okay, cool.
Question: is uni necessary? Like, do you really need uni? Like, because we're following a particular model, right?
Yeah.
Like, not model. We're currently talking about a particular pathway.
Yeah.
School, uni, business - work, right? What if we take that uni part?
He
out
really
of it?
extended the gap of the gap year. He just said gap life. There you go.
Like, do you need uni to be successful, so to speak? Like, what about those many Muslims in the community who sidestep uni or who drop out of school and do something else? Like, are we pigeonholing our mentalities by saying uni is the way to go?
I think it's probably like a bit of an empirical question, like as in looking at, as far as I understand, like on average, people that go to university like have higher income and like let's say that's the parameter.
Yep.
So and like nowadays you're seeing like news headlines and like these like PwCs like taking people without degrees or like these companies are taking without degrees and then people are like degrees are like things of the past. But I haven't looked into it fully, but like I'd like to see like how much like the percentage of people going to these companies that have degrees versus not.
Can we just get our stats guy to provide some stats on that real quick? Thank you, buddy. We'll get something for you. Yeah.
Okay. So
Do we have a stats guy? Is there a stats guy?
We do.
Oh, hey, he's
He's
been promoted to
multi-talented.
stats guy.
Okay, sorry to cut you.
Tech
Go on.
stats guy.
So I think like my suspicion is that on average, like these companies, most of them, in terms of their intake, a lot of people do have degrees. That's the first thing. But the second thing is if you're giving advice en masse, like it comes back to the same gap year thing. Like on average, if someone's been told like not to go to university, like they're not gonna like make something out of it. Like on average, you'll find more people just like sort of like spending a year trying to do something and not working, then like going back to uni and then trying to have something more stable. I think uni is a very safe, stable way to like paid work. Yeah.
So that's sort of the study part of it. Let's move on to work. And we do want to analyze the name of the tutoring center, but we're going to get to that in a little bit.
I'm still struggling.
There was a lot of
of
thought process.
Let's hold on to that. We'll get to that in a sec. But more generally with work, so you are sort of going down that line of running your own business.
Yeah.
Was there some other work that you did before this, or is this your first gig?
Oh no, I did a couple of things. So I did. So after high school, I did like a bit of tutoring at like another tutoring center, whose name I won't mention. So I won't promote.
He's got to can't promote the competition.
No, so I did that for a bit, and then I left that. Then I did an internship at a crypto exchange.
Okay.
It was a start. It was a really fun experience.
Yeah.
And then that was an internship, and then I left that, and then I worked at like a local. It was like a community startup. I wouldn't say startup actually. It was like a fast-growing consultancy.
Right.
So I learned a lot there. And then I did an internship at like a bigger firm. And then this year I did like another role at like a smaller place. Because like internships are just for the summer.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So then during
And I'm guessing you picked up a lot of skills here and there.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
wanted to apply that in your own.
For sure. So as in, I think with Perfectus, it was like I've been involved with
What was the name again?
Perfectus tutoring.
Perfecta. Can you spell that for me? I'm genuinely struggling. Perfectus?
Perfectus.
Sounds like a spell from Harry Potter.
Yeah, people have told us that.
Oh, people have told you that. Okay.
Is it like a play on Perfect Us?
No,
like it's a desperate plea from the people coming. No, I'm kidding.
We're terrible. Please come. No, so Perfectus is the Latin word which means progress, success, and perfection.
In one word. That's
It's
a pretty
beautiful.
mega word, bro.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Got to give you that. That's pretty awesome.
So there was a lot of thought put into it. I think that was like the hardest part of the whole center.
Yeah, it always
like,
is.
we like consulted with different group chats and like
And after that, it was smooth sailing.
Yeah.
it just like supercharged the growth of the business.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, so that's what it means.
Okay.
But like what happened is me and my co-founder Irfan, we both worked together at that consultancy, and then he was president of the MSA for like a year, and then he did like, I don't know if you guys saw the conference as well last year.
We did,
and
yeah.
So I was quite involved with the MSA. We done that role together, and then this year I was a president. So like, I think we had like a lot of energy, and like we felt like tutoring, like doing a tutoring center, we felt we could do it really, really well. We thought it was valuable, like we believed in it. We thought we'd learn a lot.
I'm noticing the use of past tense in everything you're saying.
No, we
Really thought it was a good idea.
Don't shoot the guy down, man.
no. So like we still think, but like I'm walking you through the thought process.
Okay, right.
So
Past continuous tense. Anyway, sorry, go on.
Technique effect.
So,
technique
yeah,
effect.
exactly. I was about to say, yeah. So, we thought we'd do really well at it. So, and we felt like looking around, and this is like something that's a bit more like internal intention, I suppose. It's like we thought in the Muslim community, if we could grow something that was like very, very, very solid, that could sort of compete with like, you know, the really big names out there, which we still feel we're capable to do.
Yeah,
Inshallah.
inshallah.
So like, yeah, we just wanted to do something that was like excellent.
Yeah, that's
essentially.
big.
Yeah.
That's ambitious.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah.
And like we feel like we have the skills to pull it off and like
Inshallah.
the experience and stuff. So I don't know. Inshallah, like we're still like this was our first
Yeah.
term. Alhamdulillah, it's been going really well. But yeah, like that's after like our MSA experiences and like work experiences. That's sort of like we thought.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
If I was to ask you to give like a quick 10-second plug, right, for your tutoring center to anyone listening, what would you say? Like, what would you want to leave people with so that they can consider coming to you guys, inshallah?
Should I look at the camera?
Yeah, you can go ahead, bro.
No, actually,
No, it's gotta seem candid.
do it.
Do it. Go ahead. We'll
It's-
cut
it's
it.
this
make
one,
an
by the way.
advertisement.
No, I feel bad. I feel like I don't want to sell out.
Perfectus, where you finish the sentence.
Yeah, I think like with Perfectus, we really, really like our aim isn't just to teach kids like step-by-step methods to do things. Like that's very, very common in schools. Like the school we went to as well. Like so I went to school. Like
I guess that's what you're talking about as well with English. It was very sort of
it's
like
very processed.
procedural.
Methodological.
It's very processed,
Yeah.
very methodological. And so because of that, I think kids start hating the subjects unless they just naturally are like amazing at them. So it's very processed. It's very like competitive, which is fine, but like it's very like step by step. So one thing we want to do is like make sure that we're teaching it in a way where kids are understanding and loving the subject.
Yep.
So they're appreciating it. And yeah, like through that process, we think it'll lead like to better marks. It'll lead to the kids being better people. You know, it'll lead them to have like a better vision for their life.
Yeah.
So that's like in like a nutshell. But yeah.
And you've got this off the ground, alhamdulillah, but you're also doing law economics. Like,
Yeah.
where do you see, like, if you were to have that typical job interview question of where do you see yourself 5 years from now, like, are you seeing yourself invested in your business, inshallah, or are
Yeah.
you seeing yourself perhaps, in a desk job, in a corporate setting? Like, where would you see, where do you see yourself? Because one could interpret it as being at potential loggerheads.
Crossroad, yeah. I haven't fully decided yet. I think my attitude for these past 3 years has been do as much as I can, get experiences, and then through that you'll learn a lot about yourself. So
find yourself.
Exactly.
Without a gap year.
Without a gap.
We've come full circle.
So yeah, that's been my attitude. So even with Perfectus, we want to grow it as much as we can.
Inshallah.
I do want to still get experience at a law firm, a big law firm, just to see how it is.
Yep.
But yeah, and then once sort of I have all that, we'll see how we go. But Perfectus is something I want to continue. I don't know if I'll be tutoring 7 to 12 the whole time, but if it means after a while I'm sort of helping make strategic decisions and tutoring 2 classes, then I would do that, right? I don't know if it'll be my full-time occupation, so to speak, but I'll see how it goes.
I just want to take a few steps back just to sort of refocus it. So we started off just having a chat about your experiences in school and the utility that you feel that your school, the readiness of how ready school makes us for what's to come after in terms of university, and then trying to have some structure in our lives post school, and then also trying to push yourself and trying to be ambitious and do as much as you can.
Yeah.
So those are some really, really good points. I want to sort of move to the last sort of area. We covered study, we covered, and we've also got Maghrib in a couple of minutes from now, so we'll try and wrap it up as soon as possible. Sure. But with the final point, I think perhaps the most important point, and I really want to stress this to our audience, whoever is listening in or will listen in, the Islamic activism side.
Yeah, that's huge.
I want you to sort of share with us, for someone who is so ambitious on the study front, mashallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed you with some great grades and ability to talk and perform and all that sort of stuff, and find yourself. And
had to check.
Had to check that one in. Tell us a bit about what place do you think Islam should have in all of this, and your activism for Islam. Is it front and center? It's just wherever you can fit it in, or where do you see Islam and community activism, Islamic activism, working on yourself, and all that sort of stuff?
MSAs as well.
Where does all of that come into the picture?
Yeah, I think it's got to. Yeah, I think one of the things is oftentimes when you're thinking about your career and your studies and everything, for a lot of kids, Islam is just a side thing that you do in the musalla or at home, or so to speak, and it's very, very common. And I think that's what leads to a lot of people just the PS4. That's all you do for Ramadan sort of
PS5
thing.
now, by the way.
Sorry, my bad.
If you can find one, apparently you can't.
If you pre-ordered in time, but
yeah.
So I think Islam definitely has to be a core part of your motivation for any project you take on, or what undergirds your study and the rest of it. In saying that, actually before I disclaimer, I'll just stress that a bit more. So I think at uni, what that should look like is you should definitely seek to increase your ilm in whatever aspect it is. Get involved with the MSA. It's a really, really sort of good environment for you as a Muslim to be in at university.
Yep.
Getting involved, you learn a lot about the deen. Firstly, you learn a lot about Muslims, how they see Islam, how you see Islam. You come to that.
Can I ask you to be a little bit more specific? Maybe a really quick snippet of something awesome that happened at university that shook you, that motivated you. What was your big sort of moment? Because I noticed the way you started when you were talking about you were regretting that the MSA year had come to an end.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Instead of, some people sort of cleaned their hands of it. Alhamdulillah, it's all over now, right?
Yeah.
So I'm guessing you had a good year and a good experience. Can you maybe focus on the best experience that you had, or something, just real quickly, 30 seconds, a minute, whatever you can give us?
Yeah. So this year was COVID. So COVID was a bit of a,
of course.
span in the works. But I think at SUMSA, some of the best, I think one of the main purposes of the MSA is to just build strong community on campus, and then from that a lot of things flow.
Yep.
So because you're embedded in this community of Muslims that are practicing, they have the same values. Over time, you'll sort of be okay, I need to work on my spirituality. Let me pray my sunnahs, or let me seek ilm in some way. So I think the main thing is community. But I think those moments of community are the most enjoyable, sweet moments of university.
For sure.
So at SUMSA, every year we have this year we didn't, unfortunately, but like last year, iftar, it's like an amazing environment. It's like buzzing, people are filtering in and out, you know, people serving food, you pray together. It's just beautiful. And like we have the grand iftar, there's IAW, which is like a week long of just giving dawah to non-Muslims, or even like strengthening your iman and conviction as a Muslim. Like all these experiences where you just like if you just pause and you just like, there's all these other Muslims around you, like seeking the same thing.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just like, it's just beautiful. Like,
no, 100%.
I think
so it's kind of like the small moments are bigger than any one big moment.
Like I think you shouldn't head into it for the small moments, but like looking back, I think like in terms of the effect on your deen, the effect on your knowledge, the effect on your skills, personality, all of that, you should pursue that. But like looking back, I think some of like the fondest memories or like the sweetest memories I have are like these moments, like these like small moments of community that you know, and togetherness and stuff.
For sure.
You know, I think, not going to hide that I'm, and Sufyan as well, we're unashamed proponents of MSAs. Like we've had, you know, involvement in the past, and without question, if anyone talks to us about university, we strongly advocate that they make the MSA their second home. Like, make that home on campus. Like, I remember, if I recall correctly, when we went to uni, we sought out the musalla before we sought out tutorials, classes, lectures, anything else, because we realized that that's going to be home. And it's those moments in the musalla where you're sitting, chatting with brothers, people in and out, all that kind of thing, that just make that experience. It's so deeply formative. And I would strongly encourage anyone listening, watching, if you're on your way to uni, or maybe if you are at uni but you haven't sought out the MSA, go and do it.
100%. Like I recommend everyone to like stop right now, actually after the podcast, like go like the MSA page of like the uni that you're gonna go to,
not just
like,
SUMSA,
and then like SUMSA as well, like regardless of the
like their pages, follow their activities, and,
for sure.
And I really love what you said about community, and because honestly it reinforces that earlier point. You know how we said when we went on a massive rant about gap years, we were like, what's important is structure. And it's the same thing. Like, subhanAllah, so many studies show that kids, even when they're at school, like kids who come from homes that have structure to them, that have, they have more meaningful lives, and they're less inclined to sort of act up in class. They're more inclined to sort of focus and achieve and perform and rise above. And it's the same sort of thing, like, we grow out of childhood and adolescence and become adults, most of us anyway, but we sort of move on. We still need that structure. We need that structure in our lives to be productive. You know, when I take a day off work, it's what you were saying earlier, it's still this sort of less productive day than when I was at work. Even though I have 8 hours of my day taken up by work, I'll probably achieve more. You know, it's a weeknight, here we are running a podcast and stuff with an amazing guest. And you know, it's like it's on a weeknight. It's like, but if you take a day off, so same sort of thing with SUMSA or with, you know, MUMSA or with UWS MSA. I'm going to try and now mention all of them so as to not
UTSMS.
You just mentioned your MSA.
I was trying to get to that. I was trying to get to it.
MUMSA in there for like.
No, I wasn't MUMSA. I was UWS MSA. Just something really, really specifically emphatic about that. I was throwing people off.
I'm being inclusive, guys. I even included MUMSA.
Even,
No offense to MUMSA members.
But structure. It seems like the theme of tonight, almost. Sort of to have that bond, to have that family sort of thing. Can I just make recourse at this point to a video? We want to show a video, and can we also see it as well? Can you turn the screen around? Because I think that's essential to the... we did mention in the lead up to this podcast that we wanted to play a little game with our guest. I think we'll play this game and we'll end the podcast on that note. And essentially what it is we've got a video of a couple of people... I want to say it's like a cross-section of the community, but it's really only 3 people, sort of sharing their experiences. Some of them are in the workforce, some of them are studying, some of them have just graduated. So what we want to do is we want to start the video off. They're going to tell us a little bit about themselves, and without stereotyping or generalizing, Muhammad's going to guess what field they got into. So let's play the video, and Muhammad, we'll pause it at the relevant moment, inshallah, and then you can tell us a little bit about these people.
My name is Muhammad. I'm 23 years old. One of my hobbies is one thing I've been doing recently actually is trying to train my pet fighter fish. Fun fact, you can actually train fighter fishes to sort of do little tricks, jump in and out of the water. So that's something I've been doing recently. And one skill of mine is that I can complete a Rubik's Cube in just over a minute. back when I was in school, I wasn't much of a long-term plan sort of person. I didn't really know specifically what I wanted to do after I graduated till close to the end of HSC. But I was never really a long-term plan person. Much of what I wanted to do.
Okay, so let's start with the first one. So he's training his, what was it?
A fighter fish.
A fighter fish, okay.
Apparently
So
that's the thing.
It's not much to go off, but this brother whose name we don't know, can you maybe guess on the very little information that you have?
I actually couldn't hear, so should I just do it off of his
You couldn't
facial
hear it in your
expressions?
audio?
But I feel like just looking at him, I can judge him enough.
Wow. All right. No
Some
worries
next
then.
level. Can you get the audio so he can hear? Can we get him to hear the audio next time? Anyway, all right. If you want to go off the facial expressions and do that, are we doing this on the show live? But okay, let's do it. All right, go for us.
Surely his brother was offered like a modeling.
Oh, modeling. I think so
Whoa.
too. He's got the facial angles right. I'm going to stop.
It's a bit
All
of flattery there.
I'm not justifying this. Modeling. Okay. No, on a more serious note.
Maybe he found himself in his gap year and he realized he
Yeah,
wanted to
he's
do
just
modeling.
like-
All right. Yes, that's what he's doing. Okay, no. Have a crack at something less.
So you think he could be a model?
No, he could.
Whoa, put him on the spot, bro. Come on. Why would you say that to the guy?
All right, let's play it and see if we can hear it this time.
do when I graduated was just sort of, I wanted to do a bit of everything. So I wanted to get involved in dawah. I wanted to, immerse myself in my studies.
Modeling.
I started a business straight out of school. I wanted to work. I wanted to spend time with my friends, with my family. I wanted to travel. So I was a bit of a person who just wanted to do a lot of everything. And I think that was one of the main things that, defined the experiences that I had in my first year or two outside of school. Looking back on that now and considering where I'm at the moment in my life, I've sort of realized that it's really hard to sort of be able to manage that and to do everything.
All right, pause.
Yeah, no, I think we'll continue because that's where we're meant to pause it. So we'll move on to the next
Looking
one.
back on, I guess, my failures and where I've fallen short and, areas where I've burned out in the past, you sort of come to realize that you can't really do everything. And at times you end up feeling very lost. You end up feeling very tired because you just don't really have a direction with what you're doing. So more recently, one of the big things that's defined how I guess, make my decisions is that I've got a bit more idea of, who I am as a person and what I want to achieve in my life and where I want to go in the future. And so as a result, now when I try to think about work, when I try to think about uni, when I try to think about, even just what I'm doing day to day, I'm able to define that just by considering, okay, does this fit in with where I want to be in terms of my dawah? Does this fit in with, the sort of dawah that I want to carry as an individual? Or is it just sort of something I'm doing, for the sake of doing something? So I guess that's one of the big things that I've learned over the past few years is that really it's important to, I guess, identify and define who you want to be. And then as a result, it becomes a lot easier to sort of find purpose in all of your actions. And it becomes a lot easier to make sure that you're doing the right things rather than just spending a lot of time, chasing your own tail. And currently studying medicine.
Assalamu alaikum guys, this is Tasneem over here and I'm pretty excited to be
That
on
was a big reveal. Studying medicine, not modeling.
Instead of
Let's
modelling.
start with them. So it's all
All right,
good.
let's start with Sister Tasneem.
to share with you my journey post HSE. A bit about me, I'm 30 years old. My hobbies include reading. I love reading. I'm a bit of a nerd. And my skills include talking a lot and arguing. Now, growing up, the skill of talking a lot and arguing was always sort of portrayed to me in a negative light, and I was always, cast as the one that talks too much. And for a while, I used to actually take it to heart and view it very negatively. Towards the end of my HSC, I started volunteering in some community projects as well as teaching languages on the weekend. And I realized just how important a skill set I had and that I didn't need to view it negatively.
All right.
Okay.
Go. What do you think?
I feel like at the start it was setting her up. She was setting herself up to be like a lawyer, like arguing. But I think that was to throw us off. So I think she's probably a teacher.
Okay, so
Teacher,
teacher
all
or
right.
lawyer. Those are actually two professions, well, depending on which area of law you go into. So maybe if you're advocating or doing sort of consultancy, then there's a lot of talking involved. If it's more transactional, you're just writing, there's not much talking involved. But good guesses, I think.
Let's see.
Let's see what she says.
At the time, I remember I was dead set on becoming a dentist. So I did some work experience
Oh.
in a dentistry, and I realized, wait, that's absolutely not my cup of tea.
Okay.
And
Just
I'm
really reeling
glad
us in.
The experience to be able to help me determine what was my passion and what wasn't. At the end of my HSC, I was able to get into law and social inquiry at UTS.
There we go.
I started doing that double degree.
She threw you off really
4
well,
months
eh?
of HSC were also crucial, as I had so much time on my hands to pretty much go crazy in terms of involvement in community projects, volunteering, catching up on a lot of reading, doing courses. It was really my time to pretty much step outside of that high school bubble and be able to interact with the real world, get some experience, form some connections, and really be able to sort of prepare myself for life post-school. In terms of community work, I really highly suggest people get involved in that. It gives you real life experience. You get to meet people, you understand what your skills are, where your strengths lie, where your weaknesses lie, and it really does help you in terms of opportunities moving forward. In terms of my dean, I think it was also really important that post-HSC period, it was the only time I really didn't have any obligations and responsibilities, and I was able to, commit to classes and do a lot of the things that, like for example, give Ramadan its due, right, and be there at the mosque where, before that I might have been using studying or otherwise as an excuse. And I felt like the more I was volunteering into my deen, doing my dawah activities, the more it really motivated me in my uni course also. Doing law isn't an easy degree, but the more I could focus on the social justice aspect of it, and how it actually tied in with my bigger aims and objectives and my passion, that was really, really helpful. At the time, I was also volunteering at a community legal centre and doing some work with refugees at the detention centre.
Okay, so just pause it there.
That was also eye-opening.
Yeah, so I just wanted to comment because, mashallah, both of the people who have sort of shared their videos, and jazakallah khair to these people, especially if you're listening in, for sharing your experiences with us, are reinforcing some of those points about trying to branch out and diversify, not just this sort of one-track vision where you're just focusing on your study. Really try and branch out and do whatever else you can. She's working in a legal centre, getting some of that work experience. She loves reading, so that's sort of a personal thing to just improve her knowledge and all that sort of stuff. And then, of course, try and do what you can for the community as well in terms of the end.
I think for both of them as well, both of them said that things don't go to plan. Like they go, we thought we'd do this and then ended up here.
Yep.
And I think, like you were saying, Mohammed, earlier, we have to be okay with that to some degree as well. Like expect that things will change and run with it.
Yep. So what we'll do is we might move on to the final person who shared their video with us towards the end. And what we'll do is we will put this video up for everyone to view afterwards.
Yeah.
So inshallah, if you want to catch anything that you may have missed, you can still catch that inshallah.
All the best, and love to see you around in the community.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam.
My name is Jamaluddin Ilkiki. I'm 28 years old, and I'm of a mixed background, so my dad's Egyptian and my mum's Australian. In terms of hobbies and interests, I think I just like trying many different things and not sticking to the one thing. So I like to get involved in swimming or even hiking, or even just learning something new. I think that would sum up my interests. Alhamdulillah, I've done a lot of travel over the years, mainly to take part in international Quran competitions. Alhamdulillah, I have memorized the Quran, so that's given me, an opportunity to experience competing with other Huffaz overseas over the last 10 years or so. In terms of studies, I do remember...
Stop. Okay, so just because we don't want him to get into the study part, we want to sort of guess that. We want you to guess that as well. So he's only really mentioned hiking, and what else did he say?
He left it
Swimming.
nice
Quran
and vague.
competition.
Swimming, hiking, and an international Quran competition. Okay, so now, what? No, we're not playing it yet. What do you want to say? What are your thoughts on this guy? What do you think he got into eventually?
So he definitely, I was going to say I got it, but like if he studied something, I don't know if you study, I don't know if that's something you study. Oh, you probably do actually.
Yeah.
I'd say perhaps teaching. Like, I don't know if those, like, that assortment of things leads to anything else.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
Yeah.
Okay. Go for it. Let's
Getting
see.
to the end of year 12 and not exactly being sure what I wanted to do. I did have a leaning towards psychology, but then I
All right.
No, just continue playing it. We'll just finish it off.
was quite sure about what I didn't want to do, so I did eliminate, medicine or becoming a lawyer or getting into pharmacy, and then I was down to psychology basically, and also I think one of the main reasons I picked that up was because I felt it would support and complement giving dawah. Even at that time, I was intending to seek knowledge overseas, which I did get around to eventually, alhamdulillah. So I did complete my Bachelor of Psychology with honours at the University of Sydney, and I then moved on to commence a Bachelor degree in Sharia at the Islamic University of Medina, which I'm currently completing the final year of. My next step would be, inshallah, to complete my Masters of Teaching, which I'm doing concurrently at the moment.
Okay, we'll pause it there.
Masters of
It's
Teaching
a bit of a lengthy video when you put all of them together. And like I said, we'll upload it, inshallah, onto the page so that people can sort of learn from their experiences and watch it in more detail. And maybe even get in touch with them, and they mention their names and stuff. I'm sure they'd be happy for you to get in touch with them and stuff. I always just assume that of our guests when they come on. Everyone can contact Muhammad Yassin on whatever else.
My number.
So you were right, actually. He did get into teaching. He did mention at the end that he got
Amongst,
into.
mashallah, the many things.
Yeah, I mean, he went overseas. He did psychology
with honours, yeah.
with honours, mashallah, and he got into teaching as well. So high achievers, I think. We had a guy who got into medicine.
Yeah.
A girl who got into law, and a guy who got into psychology and teaching, mashallah. So, and a good guest as well, with some
as well.
very
I know.
as in a very very little go off, but he was able to guess it. I actually thought, subhanallah, I know you, but I didn't know that you were doing law. I actually thought you were doing medicine for some reason.
Oh, really?
I think
That's
I just
a common one,
I think I just
That's not stereotypical at all.
I boxed him because he's from Alpha, so he scored really high, mashallah.
Pakistani.
Yeah, Pakistani.
There you
Like, Mera beta doctor banega.
There's
So I was
only
like,
one
yeah.
career path. That's it, bro.
Yeah. So, okay, what we might do is we'll wrap it up there
Yeah.
because of Maghrib. We really don't want to delay any further. And inshallah, we'll see if there's any callers who are interested. We might pray or what. No, okay. I'm getting one of these threatening looks from the guy behind the screen. So we'll leave it there. We'll wrap it up, inshallah.
Massive jazakallah
yeah,
khair.
thank
to
you so
Muhammad.
much.
Thank you very much for
Really
coming.
great.
It was actually really, really good discussion.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, it was very nice, natural, flowing discussion. I think we got to touch on pretty much everything we wanted to. We
Yeah.
could have gotten more detail here and there, but
we could have gotten
it's
a
all
little
good.
jingle from Perfectus. Like,
Yeah.
I still want that little 10-second promo.
We'll
but-
upload it afterwards. We'll upload a little jingle from Muhammad about Perfectus.
Why a jingle?
because why not, bro?
A little more than a slogan. Like, it could be a tagline or a slogan, but we want a jingle. We want a little
As long
You
as
gotta
you
sing
get
it for
the
us,
background.
and halal duff music in the background. But okay, cool. So no, jazakallah khair. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having
And inshallah, we will stay in touch with you. Maybe have you on a future podcast as well. We'd lovely to have you again. We'll leave it there.
Or we'll
inshallah.
just feature your jingle.
over and over. It's one episode. of
Okay.
It's our new intro, inshallah.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much. Jazakallah khair to our listeners and viewers as well. We wish you all the best for the rest of the evening and for the rest of the fortnight. And hopefully you can join us again, inshallah, at our following podcast 2 weeks from now, inshallah.
Yalla, assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamualaikum.